Hey kiddos, it's Pastor Elizabeth. It's time for our children's moment for this week. Welcome to the MSPC Children's Moment. We're glad you're with us. We hope you're doing well. I can't believe that it is almost near to the end of school. I know my kids are counting down to the last day of school. What an incredible year it has been. I hope you are well. I hope you are hanging in there and we can all get to summer and take a deep breath. Well, today is a really interesting church day. Just like last week was Pentecost and we talked about the Holy Spirit. We talked about fire and the colors of fire. Those of you who came to church, you wore your reds, your oranges, your yellows, right? It was fun. Well, today's a really interesting church day too, in that we learn about something that's really hard to explain. Do you ever find that adults are talking and you just don't quite understand what they're saying? Well, you know, when it comes to thinking about God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit, in the church we call it the Trinity. And let me tell you, just like kids, adults find it sometimes hard and difficult to understand, well, how do they all work together? Because as we read through the Bible, we understand that God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit are all one. Three persons, but one God. I know it's blowing your mind, right? It's blowing my mind. Well, over the years, the church has tried to help explain this, and there have been many things that have often been used to explain the Trinity. The Bible often uses the language of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. It talks about that relationship, that parent and child relationship, and the Holy Spirit all around. Well, too, sometimes at church you hear the story of the apple, right? The skin, the flesh, and the seeds. This is the Trinity because God does something, Jesus does something, and the Holy Spirit does something else. All of these really don't quite fully get there, and so it's really a challenge for us. But one thing that I thought might be helpful for us understanding the Trinity today, and maybe for you personally, is that while we're one person, a lot of times we're called by different things. Maybe we have a name that can be shortened. Maybe we have a nickname. And our parents or our grandparents or someone else in our life call us that, but we're still the same person. And it's like that with God. You know, for me personally, Elizabeth, right? My name's Elizabeth. It's a long name. I remember when I was younger, and you know how you're learning to write your name? I was always the last one to finish. It's a long name. But because it's a long name, it actually can be broken down to little names like Beth or Liz. When I was in school growing up, I was called Beth. But at home, my mom called me Liz. And now I go by Elizabeth. So I'm called different things, but really I'm the same person. If you call me Elizabeth, I'm still the same person. If you call me Beth, I'm still the same person. If you call me Liz, I'm still the same person. Maybe it's different aspects to who I am, right? My shortened name of Beth or Liz is one that's more familiar. So maybe someone closer in my life calls that to me. And Elizabeth is a name that I use when I'm doing my church stuff or I'm out in the community. But it's still me. And so even though God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit, they're doing different things to help bring us to saving grace and salvation and life with God, it's still one God. So I hope that brings you one step closer to understanding the mystery of the Trinity. But I always welcome you to ask me more questions. And if a thought comes to you, it pops in your head, and you say, I need to ask Pastor Elizabeth about it, ask your mom or dad. They'll send me a text, they'll send me an email, or maybe you and I will see each other on Sunday. But friends, be well, and I'll see you next time.